Hi, it's Jen and Tammy back with the final month of the Woolly Mug Mat Series. I can't believe it's been a year that we've been doing this.
I can't believe it's January 2020 right now
Look
either.
Look how cute this is. This is my favorite stitching on the edge. I know we're going to jump right into that in no time. There is one unique thing about this one, and it's where the arrow threads through the wool. That's actually done that way. I'm going to demonstrate that. If you are just kind of stumbling onto our YouTube channel, welcome to Shabby Fabrics. We are a design company, we're a fabric company, we're online. We are here weekly to come out with new videos and hopefully inspire you to jump into crafting, wool, quilting, DIY, and more. So be sure to download the Woolly Mug Mat patterns for February. You'll have two sheets. One's a tracing diagram and one is the layout diagram. If you like using fusible webbing with wool, which we do, we like this down when we stitch it down either by hand or by machine. We like to use the fusible webbing. We use the Heat and Bond Light, and that's where you would be using the tracing diagram. Now, of course, your kit, if you're buying the kit that we provide, that will have all these beautiful, and look at all the hand-dyed wool. Again,
it's all hand-dyed wool.
Again, back in January, we had a lot of hand-dyed wool. We love hand-dyes. It just takes it to another level.
It does.
It's a lot more expensive for us to produce it. Tammy, you even dye some of it yourself.
I do dye some wool, yeah.
But we love the look it provides. And you can just know that your kits have exactly what you're seeing in the picture. So if you get the kit, of course you'll be using all those, or you'll be using your own wool as you prefer. And again, if you want to use Heat and Bond Light, use the tracing diagram. You'll get everything cut out. Now this is where I want to show you how we dealt with threading the cool little arrow through the hearts. All right, so I'm going to jump into that. Normally you guys know I kind of zoom through this step because you know how to use the light box, you know how to use the Fusimat or Applique pressing sheet to pre-assemble this heart in that heart and bring it to the background. But for this one, on the diagram, see how there's the slits here? And actually we even show you on this one where you've got the two slits. Go ahead and cut those, and I definitely use my Kai scissors. Oh yeah. These just have that point, it kind of gets it going, and it makes it so clean.
They're super sharp.
Goes beautifully through thicker fabrics. I think that's where it really shines. Of course it goes through thinner fabric, but in thicker fabric like wool, it really performs. Yeah, they do. You know, it doesn't disturb that. So I've got my two slits ahead of time. Now I'm going to peel the paper off of the small heart that's on the top. My job now, I'm not going to do this one yet because I just want to be able to do this on my pressing mat. And of course, if I remove that paper, what's going to happen, Tammy?
You're going to fuse that right to the pressing mat.
And I'm going to feel very blonde. I don't want to do that today.
We don't want to do that today.
Okay. So right now, I'm going to try to line up my slits. And I've kind of put my fingernail in there.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
I can see that's kind of lined up on both. Yeah, I think I got lucky like right away. I've also got my, let me just make a little twist here. Where this is in line with this and this is in line with that. I'm just going to double check, yes. So let's just iron that down first. We thought about ironing those together and then cutting the slit, which you could do. It's just more, it's just like going through two layers.
It's really thick.
It is.
I'm afraid it would be too thick to cut.
So if you're nervous about that step and maybe you have a scrap piece of wool, you might want to try it on there. But look, they're all lined up.
Perfect.
Right? Now this may be easier, the arrow part, to thread through initially. Let's look at that. It may be initially a little easier with the paper on.
I think it slides better with the paper on.
And then maybe we'll pull that paper off. Let's see. I don't think it was too hard. I can even slide some of it. Rip it. You could rip it.
Rip the paper. There you go.
This is what I call in crafting, make it work.
That's right. We are going to make it work.
Right?
You're
and
exactly
now
right.
I'll go ahead and take this paper off.
Oh,
right?
Beautiful. Yes.
Let's do that. So now we have everything is away. And I'm going to use my layout diagram. I'm going to turn this on. Boy, this is tacky. Just wanted to mention, you may have seen us use the Fusimat in orange before.
Yes.
They are now just doing it in purple. Same exact product. They just must like purple more now. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's the only one we can get.
Just know if you've already bought the orange one, you're set. This is the same thing. They just changed to purple. So I've just, see how you can see it so easily? I love that. I need to slide it through a little bit more so that my footprint matches what I'm seeing. Wow, it's so nice and tacky. What I love about this, this is not falling off.
No, it doesn't fall off.
This is not going anywhere.
I love that.
Because sometimes, if you've seen our videos before, on the other layout, or the other applique pressing sheet, I'd move it and things would shift.
And then I move it so careful.
Yes.
I know.
And so I love that this is not going anywhere.
No, that's so nice.
Once you've set your position, and hey, let's go ahead, Tammy, and I'm just going to put.
You put the top of the arrow on there?
Yeah, I'm just going to do the whole thing.
Good. I think
let's just do the whole thing. We'll put our little heart up here. Isn't this so fun, guys, to use the applique pressing sheet ensures accuracy that you'll just not be able to achieve by visually looking at the picture.
Right, right.
All right, so let's just move it over here and let's iron that down.
Beautiful.
Okay, so while I'm sitting here waiting for that to fuse, Tammy, I don't know how you dreamed up this adorable stitch, but I absolutely love it.
I love that stitch.
And of course, tell them about this one.
Oh, the woolly mug rug for February. Yes, this was released a year ago. This is fun. Just did a couple of little hearts on here. Your kit would include two. We made two woolly mug rugs, yes. And we heard a lot of you saying you didn't want to put your coffee cup or something on top of the applique. And that's where the idea for the woolly mug mat came into play, so that you have room for your mug right here.
And you're not covering up your beautiful stitching or your applique.
Exactly. It's perfect.
I know most coffee cups I've ever seen have these little drips.
Oh, yeah.
You do not want to stain this.
No.
And honestly, I don't know if I could even use it. It's so pretty. It's more of a decor.
Okay, I do use mine.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, I do. I drink tea
and
I use mine.
So maybe
I
that's
drink
part
tea,
of it.
but that's okay.
So now that it's on my fuser mat, what I love about that is I literally go and peel it away. There's absolutely zero residue on my fuser mat. And this is in one piece. I move this to the background. And of course we did this. We did the same thing with the heart with the bow, and this was just a single heart. So we put that down, this unit down, and this unit. We only brought 3 pieces to the background.
Exactly.
I love that. And of course we're using our the freezer paper to cut our ovals. You like using the freezer paper because there's no fusible on the back.
Correct. They stay soft and pliable.
Yeah.
And they're easier to stitch, and I just like the feel of it.
Yep. You've always said that stitching through, if you can avoid using fusible webbing, it's
You
less
do.
for the thread to get through.
That's
so you'll use 2 of those as, like we've used this, I think, the whole series.
A lot, yeah.
1 pack of freezer paper. I love it for applique too. Turning edges, making templates. 2 of those. We've appliqued or kind of whip stitched everything down to the background.
Yes.
Talk to us about what do we do once we get the shapes down, Tammy.
Perfect. So we're going to whip stitch it down. We use this silky 12-weight thread and a little chenille needle. We like these little Shabby chenille needles. And whip it down. Now, if you don't want to do that handwork, you are welcome to put this into your machine. Use the size 100 super non-stick needle is what I recommend to go through all those layers and the fusible. And stitch that right on there with the machine with the stitch of your choice. You could use a blanket stitch or a straight stitch, whatever you prefer to do that. Okay? Then we get to play.
That's what.
Are we ready? Yes.
Okay, true confessions. If it shines or has glitter or sparkles, I want it. I don't even care what it is.
I know.
And these all have that.
Really pretty, isn't it? I love this thread set. This is one of my favorite thread sets of this
Me too.
group.
And it's small.
It's very small.
They're both small.
They are.
But it's amazing what it did.
Oh, yeah.
It just added this beauty. Okay, what do we do?
Quite the sparkle.
How do we do
All
it?
right. So we're going to start with our Mark Be Gone. I like this white marker, and I'm going to mark a 1/2 inch inside on this because I want that stitch to set a little bit deeper. I know sometimes we just go 1/4 inch. We're going to do a whole 1/2 inch on this one.
Okay.
All right, and so to mark, I'm just going to use my little ruler. I'm just going to start making little dots on my little mat here. 1/2 inch around, and then we just play connect the dots. You remember doing that, right?
I did. I know I've seen you use this template too at times.
Yes,
Would this
you
be a
can.
time to do that too?
You can do that as well. Yes, you can use this template like this and just lay it on here.
So you kind of have an edge to trace around?
Yes, so you have an edge, yep. But you can see how easily we can connect the dots now.
Especially maybe a combination of both.
That's right.
Like the dots and then bringing that in?
Correct. Yep, that'll work.
Okay.
Okay, so we get our, give that back to you.
Yep.
All right. All right, so we get our line on here. I'm going to give myself a good line. Kind of go over this a little bit. All right, now you might notice I started at the bottom this time. There's a reason for that.
You're always keeping us guessing here, Tammy.
Oh yeah, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Of course, naturally. We're going to start this stitch from the bottom.
Oh.
We normally start stitches from the top
Yeah.
and work down. This stitch is on the bottom, and we're going to work around the other way.
Okay.
So it's a different stitch.
It's so
we're going to use Thread Magic on this dazzle thread because I want it to behave itself and not be so twisty and tangly.
Okay.
This really makes it behave. I like that.
Tame your thread.
Tame your thread.
That should be like a shirt.
It should be a shirt, exactly. I'm the boss of my thread. That should be a shirt. Okay. All right, here we go. And I'm going to show you a rosette chain stitch is what this is called.
This is in the book, yes?
This is in, of course it's in the book. All stitches are in the book, yes.
And again, just a reminder, it's both for left and right-handed.
That's right, it is.
For all you lefties out there, let's get a thumbs up from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
that our wonderful person that put all that together had you in mind when they made it both.
She certainly did.
Okay, so let's see this, Tammy.
All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to come up at the bottom where we're going to start. All right, and we're going to lay our thread kind of like a little just down into your left. We're going to take our needle and we're going to hold it so that you can go down and back up again. So I'm kind of holding my needle a little bit differently as well. So I'm coming up next to where I came up, and now I'm just going to kind of angle my needle down to come up below where this first stitch is so that these are in line. So I've got an angle going on my needle like this. And notice my thread is here. It's going to go under my needle like this. All right, we're going to pull our stitch through, and it makes kind of this weird little loopy thing like this. All right, that's right. Now we're going to take the back of our needle, and I'm going to take it up right here in this part. Take your needle back up to the top of your work like this, and now we're going to dive over and we're going to make our next stitch. All right, so we're going to keep our thread out of the way. We're going to come over like this, and now I'm going to dive back. I'm angling my needle again back over because I want to come up under like this. So I want to come back under this part right here, but my needle went in here and I'm coming up here. So my needle is definitely at an angle here. And you see again, my thread is on top of my needle here, and now it's going to go under like this. And I'm going to pull my stitch through, and again it gives me that little loop. See, like that? And now I'm going to take the back of my needle again and come up between the two stitches and take that thread. It just moves that thread back up to the top. So now you can take your stitch and do it again. So one more time, we're going to leave our thread down. We're going to come over. I'm going to angle down like this. My thread is on top of my needle, going under. I'm pulling my thread through So I have my little loop and I'm right in the bottom of it. Back of your needle, back up to the top, just like that. See that? Okay, so that's how you do your little rosettes, your little rosette chain, and you just continue all the way around. And then I came back. I thought that a French knot on here would be so cute. In between, I wanted to pull the silver and the burgundy in. So you can either start with burgundy or silver. It does not matter which. I just came up right in the middle. And I believe I did 2 wraps on these French knots because I wanted them to stand out a little more and not get buried between my 2 pinks. My pink thread. Sometimes a little single French knot tends to get buried. That one stands up really nicely. So I would do the rosette first, take your silver, go every other one, French knot all the way up, come back with your burgundy and fill in where you were. Okay? That's how I did the outside. How fun is that? Okay, so as soon as we have our rosette chain on, I just took my white pen again and I just drew an XO on here. And it takes a second for it to come up. Sometimes you can touch it. There it is. And it comes up a little better. You can also redraw this line. I like the white pen. Let's see if the black shows up better. Friction pen, I kind of use both pens back and forth.
Okay.
I think that, yeah, see that's kind of dark on there. It depends on your light. If you have really good light, you'd probably be okay with a friction pen. But a lot of times light is one thing stitchers have a problem with, is having enough light when you're stitching.
Oh my gosh, all the time. I think I like that.
I like the white better too.
But on the arrow, I think that's a good tool.
I agree. I agree. So we're just going to do a little friction line here and do our little arrow marks. Just super simple, following your diagram. Just a back stitch on there. You're good to go.
Wow.
Isn't that fun?
So these are both just back stitched?
Just back stitched. Yep. Very simple back stitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that it's really actually very basic, the elements. But this together.
This just makes it so nice.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Very sweet.
I have loved this series. I literally, each time I'm like, don't show it to me. Don't show me. Don't show me the stitches so I can truly be surprised with you.
Exactly.
So Tammy, and Casey, who's drawn all these.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey, for your wonderful artistry.
Beautiful.
Tammy, you've pulled together this, just amazing detail and showing us the stitching throughout the series.
Yep, my pleasure.
It has been so fun. So we hope you've enjoyed the series.
Yeah.
Kits will be available.
Yes.
Good news is,
Absolutely.
as long as they keep making sheep, we
We're
intend to
good
keep
to go.
having kits, right?
That's right. We will have wool.
Unlike fabric, which has such a short lifespan.
It does have a short life.
Well, we intend to keep having kits because these are going to forever be popular.
They're beautiful.
So thank you for joining us for this series, and we'll see you on the next Shabby Fabrics video.